Right guys, it's here. You might not have heard about it, but it's here. Samurai Death Cult by Antony Cummins. It's a small slender book in both hardback, paperback and on Kindle. I'm going to tell you why I've had to self-publish this and why you've not really heard about it before. But at the moment it's just gone up on Amazon, and the links will be in the video below so that you can go straight there, because I can do America and I can do England. For the rest of you, you're going to struggle to find it. If you want to find it, just go to one of my books, any of them, like Book of Bushido, click Antony Cummins, see all books, and it will be there. It will be there. But it takes a while for it to come up in the search engines. But Samurai Death Cult, parentry advisory, explicit content. So it's been done by me, I've been written by me, but it's been published by me through Amazon for the reason, which I'm going to tell you in a second. But it has got some pictures of decapitated heads in it. It's got a warning on it. It's got sort of like execution stuff and all that sort of thing. But let me tell you why. Oh, and by the way, I've priced it as low as I possibly can. In England, the hardback is £12, £7, and are you ready for this? A colossal £1.50 on Kindle. In America, I can't remember what it is in dollars. I'll put it on the screen, but basically I've put it as low as I possibly can, with Kindle being $2. So even if you just go get the Kindle for me, guys, that gives me, keep it going, tell people about it, and of course please leave an Amazon review on what you think. So what's in the book? Right, let me just go through the table of contents and I'll tell you why it was turned down by 3 publishers. 3. Oh, and also all the people who ever donated to me last year and the year before, your names are all there. So Adam Song, Alex Hammer, Hammond, Alexander Farrell, Amory, Ben Weasel, Jeremiah Agnew, you know, Rex Ashcroft, Stuart Barclay, Warren James Nash, you're all there in this book. So this is the thank yous have gone in there. So that is superb. All those people who donated at the end of last year and the year before are there. So, but let me find the table of contents. Sorry, guys. Let me find it. Right. So, the Samurai Imbalance, an introduction. The child soldiers of Japan. Sex in samurai culture. Bloodlust, a love of gore and murder. Samurai headhunters. Death, a living relationship. A belly full of seppuku. War crimes and atrocities. Buddhists and blood, the undead, exorcism, monsters, ghosts in samurai tradition, animal cruelty, the shinobi, and the samurai death cult today. So they're the topics. So it involves lots of things we can't talk about: child problems, abuse, murder, killing, death, etc. And the wonderful cover has been done by J.K. and has as the internals, and it went through multiple covers. But now let me tell you guys about why I've had to self-publish it. I've not self-published a book in about a proper book in about 10 years. I do notebooks and I do stuff like that, a little bit of like, you know, workbooks, notebooks, information. I self-publish, so I get little bits of money from that. But originally, before I did Book of Bushido, probably about 4 years ago, I was approached by an imprint of one of my publishers, and they said, Antony, would you like to do something for us? And now this is important, guys. This publisher was very much relaxed writing, more short books, long essays, novella types, you know, so hence that's why it's that big. And just, you know, ideas and thinking, very free-flowing. It's not got to be a very structured, you know, this book, that book. So I said, yes, let's have a go. I started writing it and I ended up writing Book of Bushido, and he went to a different publisher. So I went back to them like a couple of years later after that. I said, listen, I've not done that, but I really want to push it to like the darker side. What is this, the horribleness that the samurai got up to? What is it? So they said, yep, go for it. I put the text in, the first draft, and they were like, Jesus Christ, Antony. I told them about how people have invited me to go and perform assassinations, which is true, and I've been invited by, I've met many strange and crazy people over the time, if I'd like to go to the Middle East and have a go at stuff, about all the sort of like different ways you know, males want to get a love of the samurai, but of course we have to tone it down because we think of it, you know, we have this samurai fantasy, but actually reality is brutal and horrible. So they said, go away and streamline the text. So I streamlined all my personal stuff out of it, all the stuff that the people I've met, the ways, like, you know, it's difficult to explain, but I've met lots of people with lots of bloodthirstiness. I've met lots of military people, and I had to strip all that. They said, strip anything personal. I told them about my personal journey. We all want to go and be samurai, but they said, strip all that and just go to the basic facts. So I said, okay, no problem. So I stripped it all and gave it back to them. They said, okay, yep, this is more like it, and let's edit it. So they edited it all wonderfully, all professionally edited. But then they had a meeting, and they said, Antony, we don't want to... Basically, the in-house were not happy about this book. They're a very left-wing publisher, which I ended up with some left-wing publishers, but they were with a left-wing publisher, and they were like, we're really worried about this, Antony. It's too brutal. It's too horrible. It's, you know... And at that time, they didn't have my conclusion. I said, I'll send the conclusion at the end. And the conclusion is, be careful when you want to study. So actually my conclusion is really left-wing. It's like, be careful when you want to idolize brutal murderers and atrocity, you know, basically despots, atrocity, and, you know, genocidal maniacs, basically. And my point is through all this, you go through all this dark stuff, but you end up at the point where you're like, really, you don't want to be involving yourself with that. So, and they were still like, no, we can't do it. So I sent it to another publisher of mine, a big publisher in America, and they came back and said, no, it's too much. It's too on the edge. And then I took it to one of my other English publishers, and they said, it's too much, too on the edge. But if you remove everything and just have the historical thing, and I'd be like, it'd probably be about, you know, half the size again, so it keeps dropping in size. And I said, no, and I've already published that you're going back to the Book of Bushido there. So I said, I want to keep this horrible stuff in it. So I gave up on that, and I put it on the shelf for 6 months, took out have had it professionally edited, and then got some proofreaders on it, and basically I've uploaded it to Amazon, print on demand, and I've made it as cheap as possible so that it's as open to everyone as possible, and that means I get a small amount of money for it, but hopefully you guys will pass it around to it. So please leave an Amazon review on it and get yourself a copy, and I hope you enjoy it. I would love, when you've read it, come back to this video and leave your comments below what you think. And of course, I'll be promoting this in the next one. I would highly recommend, guys, that you get the hardback edition. It's a little bit more expensive. I get the same money as the paperback edition. I made it so when you upload these things, you pull the money down to the level you want. And I made it so I get the same amount of money for both, but this one's more expensive because it has the hardback cover. So I'm not trying to sell you to get more money. It's just print on demand. Book covers tend to curl very quickly and separate, and I don't know why. It's just one of those things. So I would get the hardback one, so it stays on your shelf looking neat and nice for a few extra quid, just for you. Doesn't help me any more or any difference. If you're a Kindle lover, get it on Kindle because it's literally dirt cheap. Right, guys, that's been one of my projects in the background. I normally give you 6 months notice on my books, but here it is. This is something just to keep you going until my next book comes out, which is to do with Zen, and it's to do with martial arts and Zen, and that'll be out August 2025, so 1 year, 3 months, something like that, because I've got to write it now and build the house. So there you go. That'll keep you going for a bit there. Enjoy and let me know what you think.